Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to day 21 of Solstice Blessings 21 Days to Rebirth. Here it is. Here we are. Yay, we made it. And I thank you so much for taking part. Thank you to all who have been commenting on these videos, those of you who are liking, those of you who have recently subscribed to the channel. All of those little exchanges really do support this channel to expand and grow, which encourages me to expand and grow. So I'm deeply appreciative of all of it. So here on day 21, you might notice I'm not dressed as I would normally dress. I'm wearing a Biggie Smalls shirt that says it was all a dream. You can finish the rest of the wrap, if you will. And it's in honor of the man that inspired this offering, the man who changed my life, and certainly the impact of his departure 5 years ago today really changed my life. And today, 5 years later, I was reflecting upon the last 5 years since he transitioned from the flesh back to his light body, and how much has changed. And every other year, the previous 4 years, on this day, there was a lot of sadness. And I have to say today, there's not a lot of sadness that I feel. I just feel immense gratitude for the opportunity to have been loved by him, for the opportunity to have shared the last few years of his life loving him. That was such a blessing. And today was all about him. And we created some ceremony. My son and I, we went and took some of his ashes to a 200-plus-year-old red oak that is a heritage tree in the town we live in, and we sprinkled them around the base of the tree and put some inside the tree, lit an incense, and really expressed gratitude for the blessing that he was in our life. And so, thank you, Frank. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Today, I just feel really guided to come here, and I wanted to share that little bit about the special meaning of today, or how the impact of today's date. And it really, just a little background, I guess, to sort of show how we can change and how we can grow and how we can overcome the obstacles that the mind or the ego puts in place for us, simply by choosing to live from our heart space, regardless of anything. Coming back to the heart time and time again, coming back to the heart. And so this year, Frank and I shared a birthday. He was born 5 years earlier than me. And so this year, on our shared birthday, I celebrated the last birthday he celebrated in the flesh. So I turned 53 this year. And up to and leading up to our birthday, I was experiencing so much anxiety. Because the mind plays tricks on us, and I'm like, oh, what if it's my last birthday? What if I'm going to check out on the 21st of December like him? And it created a lot of anxiety in my skin, under my skin. And as we got to as we approach our birthday, which is in August, at the end of August. And as I approached that, I was really receiving guidance that this was an opportunity for me to shift. It wasn't going to be my last birthday earthside. It was going to be the last birthday that I lived within the confines of my own limiting mind. And so since that time, it's been a rather introspective time for me personally. And there's been a lot of changes. I've spent a lot of time really focusing on and supporting myself to remember who I am, to remember my own power, to remember the wisdom that flows innately from within, this vessel of flesh. And so I've been taking action steps every day since August to improve my experience of being human. And in particular, and those action steps come around sleep, come around what I'm feeding my body, what I'm listening to, what maybe I'm watching. If I watch anything, I don't really watch much. And the people that I am allowing to be welcomed into my space, because we don't have to welcome and allow everyone in our space. It's really important that we create boundaries. And so as we sit here tonight, this whole 21 days was really inspired. I felt like it was Frank nudging me to get back to doing what I love. He was the one person in this world that really felt my heart, and I was never more encouraged or supported by another than I was by him, to go out there and do my spiritual work, to bring my healing, bring my wisdom to the table. And so I trust that that's what I'm doing. And I trust that somewhere in this 21 days, you may have been touched or inspired by something that has been shared here. And I do hope that you come back to this channel, because starting tomorrow on December 22nd, we will be doing 21 days of deep breathing practices. And they'll be short little breathing practices, and we may do the same breath every single day, or we may change it up as I'm guided, because it's really what I have come to remember and understand deeply is it's our breath that supports us. And without our breath, we don't live, And so it's not about the quantity of breaths that we take, it's about the quality of the breath that we take. And deep breathing, getting our bellies to move as we inhale and drop back as we exhale, is key to optimal health, spiritual, physical, and emotional well-being. And so I'm really looking forward to the next 21 days. So that will be from December 22nd until January the 11th. And following that, starting on January 12th to February the 1st, we will be doing 21 days of gentleness. And then we'll see where it goes from there. So if there's something that you would like to see as a focus for a 21-day period of time, because they say it takes 21 days to make or break a habit, whatever that habit may be, and to instill new positive reinforcement, positive habits, positive practices on a daily basis. So if you have any suggestions or ideas for a 21-day focus, please do drop it in the comments below, or send me an email, however you wish to reach out. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please do. If you are watching this on the 21st of December, there are a handful of hours left to take advantage of the Solstice specials, which are on my website, lisalyle.com, yearly readings, Grounding with Gaia, and I believe there's one angel blessing left. So if you're interested in any of those, hop on over to my website and take a look, and we'll see. I look forward to connecting with you in a more personal, one-on-one, in-depth way. And I have to say, the yearlies and the angel blessings have been phenomenal. And what a gift they have been for me to be the messenger of those blessings and those messages. I'm so blessed. So we're doing the tree oracle today, and this is a number 2. Of course it is, and it's the walnut tree. This is the angel tree oracle. I've used it earlier in this offering, and I'm going to use it today. I was guided to use it today. And what I'm feeling, that this is a season connecting with the walnut. Walnuts are great for brain health. Speaking of our brains, and it's really interesting because most fruits, seeds, and nuts and stuff, they look like the inner part of our body that they support. So walnuts support brain health. And what I'm feeling is that the message in sharing that is it's really time to get out of your head. Allow your heart to guide your brain into action. Because what happens, most of us have been trained and conditioned and taught that it's the brain that gets us through life. And I have to tell you, we only use about 10% of it. So if it's our brain that gets us through life, no wonder the world is in such shambles, right? And insanity is ruling and running the show, and in fact, ruining the experience of being divinely human. And so, what I'm feeling with the walnut tree is that we're being guided to focus on our heart center and allow our heart center to be our guide forward in this lifetime. And if you notice at the bottom of the card, there's lots of this orange energy, which is the sacral chakra. So it also feels that there are many people here that may be experiencing sadness and grief at this time. And it could be, and it very likely is, if it's stored in the sacral, old wounds that we haven't been willing to let go of. We're not yet ready to release. Now is the optimal time to release that energy and allow yourself to truly shine from within. Because up next is we have the elm, and if you look, there's all kinds of like little light beings around the elm, and I really feel that this is representative of our ancestors and loved ones in spirit who are always all around us. I mean, as much as Frank's physical vessel died and left the earth, his presence has never left. And in fact, in the early days, in the first couple months after he passed, he was all up in my sauce, up in my face all the time, and it was really overwhelming. And we've come to a greater understanding now as linear time has passed, of how his energy best works to support me. And when I need him, he's here. And when I need him to back off a little bit, he does that as well. And yet his presence is a constant. And I share that because it's the same for your loved ones in spirit. And don't diminish your connection, and don't diminish them as a soul by the idea that, oh well, their human life is over, and that's kind of all there is to that. And I'm here to say that there's so much more to it than that. The human life ends and the soul journey continues, because we are energetics, and energy never dies, it transforms. And so it's up to us in human form, because we're pretty dense, whether we're living in our head or not. The human experience is a rather dense experience. And so it's up to us to reestablish our connection to our spiritual essence, to our spiritual nature, which is never ending. And another thing is that love doesn't die. Love grows and transforms, and love heals those of us who mourn the loss of the physical presence. And it's really about, again, reestablishing connection to our spiritual essence so that we can really receive the love and support that our ancestors, our loved ones, our angels, God want to offer us. Unless we're willing to reach out and feel within, we're probably not going to feel it, and we may sit in that dense, that heavy energy of what can be the heavy energy of the sacral chakra, because a well-balanced sacral chakra is full of light, full of joy and delight, highly creative, deeply emotional, incredibly sensual, fabulously sexual. And we're meant to have this full-on experience while in the flesh. Otherwise, what would be the point? And I can tell you, the point isn't for you to work from cradle to grave. It isn't for us to move through this rigged education system. And I would actually say it's a de-evolution system, because we're not being taught much truth within that structure. And so it's about us determining how we are going to, that is super sweet. It's up to us to determine how we are we courageous enough to live in a way that supports the experience of the most joy, of the most love. And, unless we're willing to open up and love and experience the possibility that we may be hurt again in that connection, if we hold ourselves back. And I believe I did that for a lot of years, probably, just until recently. If I'm completely honest, maybe until around the season of our birthday, I was so wounded and so hurt by his transition from the flesh and all that unfolded after he left. And much of what unfolded he would not condone and he would not be happy about. And it was really hard for me as the human Lisa to come to terms with everything that happened. And we can't control other people, and that is one of the things that I learned in deeply expansive ways after he died, and that not everyone in this lifetime operates from a place of integrity and honesty. And that's okay, because that's their soul's journey and that is their own karma. And so over here, the slates are clean. And that is a lovely and freeing feeling. And the final card that came out is a number 6. And in the tarot, this is the Lover's card. And it looks like the Lover's there. And we can see that this one, it almost looks like she's holding a heart there while he's holding some sort of a leaf. And then they're meeting in the middle. And this really feels like, I almost feel like it's permission for us to love again, permission for us to be open and to know that when we transition from the flesh, it is the love that remains. And although the humans that are left behind, although some of them may behave poorly and less than integrally, that's not our stuff. That is their stuff. And as long as we continue to come back to the purity of our heart and to trust and follow our heart, everything's going to be A-OK. The sun will shine again. And I love how the roots here are intertwined. And this is the beauty about partnership, right? It's not about it's not the codependent kind of partnership. It's a partnership that is a coming together, and a coming together of two souls who make a conscious decision to love and to partner up. And then within that partnership, within that union, there's space and allowance for growth. This is about healthy union. And so for all of you who may be viewing this video, allow yourself to really breathe into your experience and to really breathe until there's clarity of heart, because we're here to operate from the heart mind. The heart guides the mind into the action, not the mind shutting the heart down, because that is the ego's way, to shut the heart down, to keep us living bound to what's back there. What's back there supports the new growth that's taking place now, right here in our hearts. So I'm not sure if my eyes are going to allow me to read just the little piece of prose that comes with each tree. And so we're going to start with the walnut, and the piece of prose is, well, we're actually starting with the elm, because, no, that's not the elm. Geez, see, I can't really read in the dark. Okay, the walnut, the little piece of prose says, wait and watch, listen and learn. No judgment, no action. Every coin has two sides. Every problem, three solutions. Find your path, and in time will nourish all. That's what we're here for. All of us are here to nourish ourselves and then to share our gifts, to share our wisdom, to tell our stories, to support the nourishment, nurturing, and encouragement of others to begin setting foot upon their healing path. The elm, the little piece of prose, I opened it right up to the elm this time. And it says, without animals, you die of loneliness. Without ancestors, you die restless. Without us, you die without a future. Wake up and listen. Wake up and speak out. The dying only hear their own voice, but the living sing in chorus. That's kind of beautiful. And then the hawthorn. And I feel hawthorn is a very protective energy. And I feel that this is the divine masculine is protecting and nurturing the divine feminine at this time. And to really know that you are protected, spiritually protected. And when living in alignment with your heart, there is nothing that can harm you without your permission. 2121. Nothing can harm you without your permission. The fulfillment of your love awaits you, that which you long for, like the water of life itself. Glimpse the sacred marriage, but do not search outside for what you cannot find within. So if there's something you can't find, if there's an answer you can't find, if there's a solution you can't find and you're seeking outside of yourself, you're reaching out, help me, give me the answers, I would encourage you to listen more to the voice that speaks within. And trust that in this moment in time and all moments in time that follow, you have all the answers that you need. Everything that you could ever need to experience joyful abundance, joyful co-creation in this lifetime already resides within you right there, right now, this very moment. And so, with that being said, I'm going to thank you once again for being a part of this Solstice Blessings 21 Days to Rebirth, New Earth through us. I'd like to give a big shout out to the big guy and thank him for blessing my life with his unconditional love, encouragement, and support. And let him know he's not responsible for what happened after he left this earth. And that those who are responsible for any of the shenanigans have to live out their days with the knowing of what they did. And that's enough. That's enough. That's enough for me today. And today I'm just totally tuned into the blessing that Frank Joseph McPhee Jr. was in my life. And so until the next time, until tomorrow when we breathe together, and I think I'm going to try to do those videos earlier in the day, probably one of the first things I do in the day. And I may even do some YouTube lives. So stay tuned, maybe around 11, 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So New York, Toronto time. And I'm looking forward to connecting with you then. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do subscribe, hit the thumbs up, drop a comment down below. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for your love, encouragement, and support. I truly do appreciate you. Your presence here in this space is a blessing in my life for which I am eternally grateful. So until next time, I see you, I feel you, I love you, love you, love you. Take good care.